do you feel that Gavin Newsom is from central casting? Because you talked to him on Tuesday.
I mean, for a certain category of people, I will say you showed earlier in the program that clip with Katie Couric. And sometimes I'll see something in the media and my first reaction will be, oh, Megyn's going to play that on her show. And as soon as I saw the Katie Couric thing, I was like, yeah, Megyn's going to play that on her show. Look,
such a dereliction.
Yeah. Gavin Newsom is an interesting guy in a lot of ways. And the book is an attempt, I think, to that he wrote is an attempt to give people more of a view of him that he thinks is accurate. I get such a big reaction when I interview him, when I talk about him. People across the country, across the spectrum, he really, not the Trump level, because there's nobody at that level, but as much as any Democrat around today, more than AOC, more than Chuck Schumer, more than anybody, people really react to the topic of Gavin Newsom. So I don't know that he's from central casting for anything germane to this conversation, but in terms of people responding to him positively and negatively, he's as a hot button as anybody else I know of and that I talk about.
Okay, so you mentioned the Katie Couric exchange. I'm sure you saw the other one, which we have to play again because you and I have got to dissect this like a patient on the table. This, again, is the Adam Friedland show. Let's take it in together because we all enjoyed it so much the first time. SOT 16.
What is your defined political project? Like what throughout your career and like right now? Like what is the thing you want to accomplish like politically?
I don't have in your life. I don't have like a brand. I don't have a tag, Make America Great, or I don't, the Great Society, or something like Medicare for all the billionaires. But but for me, no bullshit. It's just standing up for ideals, striking out against injustice. That defines my why in every way, shape, form. Stand up for ideals, strike out against injustice. I'm a Sarge Schreiber Democrat. I'm into that whole '60s, the vernacular of the '60s, solving for ignorance and poverty and disease, and the spirit of the '60s, and the spirit of King, and and how the nonviolent movement and Gandhi and Havel and Mandela, that moral authority, for that whole space, that's the zeitgeist. And that's me. That's my dad. So that's my mom. That's the book, and that's my why.
So if you had to define it, like, vote
I need your help to define
and you get.
Well, you tell
X.
me. You're better at this.
I don't know. I don't know who you. What
I just gave you my why, but how do you translate that into human?
What? So if you say, like, make an appeal to a voter, right? Say, if you vote for me, you get X. Like, what in a kind of concise, tangible sense? Talking to a regular guy.
What
is that?
I've struggled with being able to communicate. I told you what my why is and why I'm here, and I mean that, and that's ingrained in every aspect of my life, and it connects the dots.
Okay, first of all, I hate how people are saying this. That's my why. I really can't stand that. It makes my skin kind of crawl. That's my why. And to have a politician, the question, what do you want to accomplish? Mark, we went through Gandhi, Mandela, King, his mom, his dad. I need your help to define it. You tell me you're better at this. I don't know your shit, says the great Adam Friedland.
I want to play.
This is a fail.
If there's a play with Adam Friedland as a character, I want to portray him. I think I could own that role.
Yes.
With the right wig.
We might have to take you up on that as part of our MK Media parody series.
I would love to play that guy. Look, he talked way too fast, the governor did. And he's trying really hard on this book tour. He did in his conversation with me to give people a sense who he is in a way that's not superficial. And I think for some people, ironically, he's having the exact opposite impact. I put That's My Why right up there with Don't Yuck My Yum. I just don't want to hear anybody ever say it.
Ugh.
I just don't want to hear anybody ever say it.
Or My Truth.
Yeah, or My Truth.
I don't want to hear any of it. I want to hear My Truth, and I don't want to hear That's My Why.
Yeah.
It's so weird, crunchy.
I agree.
California.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear any of that. At the same time, in this very, very weak Democratic presidential field, that passes for an A game. By the way.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it does. It does. Maybe not that moment, but in general.
I'm starting to take another look at Pete Buttigieg.
I am too.
We did a little reel. We posted it on Insta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Because like now he's getting more masculine than Gavin Newsom. Like. Wouldn't that be ironic? Because he's like kind of a feat, but not more so than Gavin. Pete is openly gay. Gavin is allegedly straight with a wife and children. And second wife now. His first wife's a pal of mine. And Pete Buttigieg, like, he can talk policy. He can sell himself. He can have a substantive conversation. Not to mention somebody we haven't discussed really much at all, Rahm Emanuel, who will run circles around this guy intellectually. How is he going to win a primary, Gavin Newsom, next to people who actually, they may not share my own politics, but they're smart and they can stay substantive?
Well, a lot there. First of all, Gavin Newsom is not dumb, and I'll take a bunch of heat for saying that. But I've known him pretty well for a while. He's not dumb.
He says he is.
I know, but he's not. He plays dumb.
Okay, just for the record.
So I'm working on my next 8 for 28 coming up next week on Next Up. And it's very difficult to come up with 8 slots these days because most everybody's moving down. He's going to be almost certainly be number 1 by default. I am moving Buttigieg up, but I will say this. A lot of the people who are talked about are women of color, gay men, or Jewish men. And I think it's going to be very difficult for the party to nominate anybody in any of those categories. And then I haven't even talked about short men, of which there are many too. And the 2 you named are both pretty short. So these immutable characteristics, Jewish is, I guess, semi-immutable. These are things that the Democratic Party normally would not reject. A lot of Democrats would be offended if you said about their party they're not going to nominate anything but a straight white man, but a Christian straight white man. But I really do think there's a lot of sentiment in the party, including amongst women of color, to say we got to go safe. And safe is heterosexual white man who's a Christian. And on my list of 8, there's nearly no one except for the governor of California who is those things.
How tall is he?
Tall enough. I forget how tall he is. Maybe 6'1", 6'2". I forget.
All right.
But he's tall enough.
He's up there.
He's tall. He's taller.
When you say those 2 men who aren't, you're talking about Pete and Rahm. They're not tall.
They're not tall, and one's gay and one's Jewish. And they're really not. And they're really not tall. I forget how tall they are, but they've never been introduced to 6 feet, let alone cleared it.
They're really not tall. Okay, yeah. I've never heard it phrased quite that way, but yes, you are right, and it matters, right? Haven't we like always had tall presidents? It is a thing.
The taller man. We've only had men win so far. The taller man has won every time. There's one exception. I think Ford was taller than Carter by a little bit, but otherwise the taller guy typically wins. In the TV.
Meanwhile,
age.
You have J.B. Pritzker shooting himself up with Ozempic like 3 times a week because you also can't win if you're morbidly obese. Yeah. And that's also true. Yeah. I can't do anything about your height, but you can do something about your weight.
Yeah, but he's Jewish.
There's no question in my mind.
But he's Jewish too.
Pritzker?
Yeah.
Pritzker is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He is.
But we say this because the Democrat Party is anti-Jewish now? Like, what is the, why is the Jewish, like Kamala said she couldn't pick a Jewish person.
It's a twofer. One is the energy in the party is anti-Israel. And even though all of these Jewish prospective candidates have taken positions at times in criticism of Israel, it's going to be a challenge for them to get past the wing of the party that's really hostile to Israel. And then second is just worried about prejudice, worried that you maximize your chances of winning in a nation that's got some anti-Semitism by not picking someone who's Jewish.
Mm-hmm. They would say it's not that we're anti-Semites or we're homophobes. Yeah. It's that those evil independents we need to vote along with us are.
Yeah.
So we have to get somebody palatable to them.
It's not irrational because if you look at the sample space of presidents, there's never been a Jew. There's never been an openly gay person. There's only been one person of color.
And there's never been a woman.
And there's never been a woman. There's never been a short person, particularly short person in the TV age. So these are not irrational things.
So you were back to Gavin Newsom. You need to be tall. You need to be a male. You need to be white. You can't be Jewish. You can't be gay. I see by process of elimination how we
that's a preview of the next for Next Up, the 8 for 28, because you go down the list, almost everybody on the list is at least one of the 3 or one of the 5. I mean,
Hot Gandhi it is.
Could be Hot Gandhi. It could be the towering Christian heterosexual governor with the hella good hair.
Think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equaled roughly 33 ounces of gold at spot price, okay? $20,000 got you 33 ounces. At today's prices, those 33 ounces would be worth about $165,000. That would have been a very good investment. And that's why so many smart Americans do diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals. They're thinking about what's going to happen in the next 20 years. And it's also why you should consider buying gold from Birch Gold Group. For thousands of years, gold has been a store of wealth. And today, it is a crucial part of any balanced strategy. Even better, Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered retirement account in gold. All you have to do is text MK to the number 989898, and that will give you a free info kit on gold. There's no obligation. It's just useful information from which you can make a decision. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold help you diversify with gold. Now that's peace of mind. Again, text MK to 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.